Oh, hello there. I'm Bilchan.
I'm Nimakung.
I'm Banchan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you Chapter 12, Section 5 of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
As.
Ah.
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Author Conan. Chapter 12, Section 5. Unshadow might not have up on the page. To him. I read for about 10 minutes. A chapter. And then suddenly, in the middle of a sentence, ordered me to cease and to change my dress. You can easily imagine. Bristol, Holmes. Performance could possibly be. They were always very careful. I observed. Turned my face away from the window. Desired to see what was going on behind my back. To be impossible. But I soon devised a means. Woken. So happy thought seized me. The glass in my handkerchief. On the next occasion. My laughter. I put my handkerchief up to my eyes. With a little management to see all that there was behind me. That I was disappointed. There was nothing. Impression. At the second glance. However, man standing in the Southampton Road. A small bearded man in a grey suit. He seemed to be looking in my direction. Highway. And there are usually people there. This man, however, leaning against the railings which bordered our field and was looking earnestly up, lowered my handkerchief and glanced at me with the most searching gaze. She said nothing what was behind me. She read at once. Jeffro, said she, of yours, Miss Hunter? He asked. No. Dear me, how very impertinent. Oh no. We should have him loitering here always, as I was told. At the same instant mice the blind. That was a week. Go, not sat again in the window, nor have I worn the dress breaking to you, said Holmes. You will find it rather disconnected. I fear. On the very first day that I was at the Copper Beeches, Mr. Rucastle took me to a small house which stands near the kitchen door. As we approached it, I heard the sharp rattling of a chain, the sound as of a large animal moving about. Look in here, said Mr. Rucastle, showing me a slit between 2 points. Conscious of two glowing eyes' darkness, don't be frightened, said my employer, given. It's only Carlo, my mastiff. I call him mine, really old to lure my groom with him. We feed him once a day and not too much then, so that he is always as keen as mustard. Every night. And God help the trespasser whom he lays his fangs upon. At night. The warning was no idle one. Happened to look out of my bedroom window about 2 o'clock in the morning. It was a beautiful moonlight night, was silvered over and almost as bright as day. I was standing in the peaceful beauty of the scene, moved under the shadow of the copper Beeches. I saw what it was. It was a giant dog, a calf tawny tinted, with hanging jowl, black muzzle, projecting bones. The other side. Do not think that any bird book could have done. Strange experience to tell you. I had, as you know, my hair in the bottom of my trunk on evening after the child was in bed, rearranging my own little things. Room, the two upper ones empty and open, the lower one What? I had filled the first with my linen third drawer. Oversight, so I took out my bunch of keys and tried to open. The very first key fitted to perfection, and I drew the drawer open. There was only one thing in it, would never guess what. It was my coil of hair. It up and examined it. It was of the same peculiar tint, the same thickness. But then the impossibility of the thing obtruded itself upon me. How could my hair have been locked in the drawer? I undid my trunk, turned out the contents, my own hair. I laid the two tresses together. That they were identical. Was it not extraordinary? Puzzle was. I could make nothing at all of what it meant. To the drawer, which they had locked. I am naturally observant. As you may have remarked, Mr. Holmes' house in my head. There was one wing, however, to be inhabited at all. Quarters of the tellers opened into this suite, but it was invariably. What? One day, however, as I ascended the stair, I met Mr. Ruxel coming out through this door, his keys in his hand, look on his face which made him a very different person to the round, jovial man to whom I was accustomed. His cheeks were red, was all crinkled with anger, oppression. This aroused my curiosity. Grounds with my charge could see the windows of this part of the house, them in a row, 3 of which were simply dirty, was shuttered up. They were evidently all deserted. Gone. Glancing at them occasionally, Mr. Ruxel came out to me, looking as merry and jovial as ever. "Ah," said he me. "Would if I passed you without a word, my dear young lady." I assured him that I was not offended. "By the way," said I, "you seem to have quite a suite of spare rooms up there," surprised, and as it seemed to me, a little startled at my walk. "Photography is one of my hobbies," said he. "Up there. What? Dear me, come upon. Who would have believed it?" He spoke in a jesting tone as he looked at me. I read suspicion there and annoyance jest. Well, Mr. Holmes, was something about that suite of rooms which I was not to know. Was all on fire to go over them. It was not mere curiosity, though I have my share of that, feeling that some good might come from my penetrating to this place. Of woman's instinct, perhaps it was woman's instinct which gave me that feeling. At any rate, it was there for any chance to pass the forbidden door. Him, I may tell you that besides Mr. Ruxel and his wife find something to do in these deserted rooms, so I'm carrying a large black in. With him through the door. He has been drinking hard, and yesterday evening he was very drunk. When I came upstairs there was the key in the door. Doubt at all that he had left it there. Mr. and Miss Ruxel were both downstairs, and the child was with them, had an admirable opportunity. I turned the key gently in the lock, the door, and slipped through. There was a little passage in front of me, unpapered and uncarpeted, which turned at a right angle at the farther end. Round this corner were 3 doors in, a line of which were open. They each led into an empty room, cheerless, with 2 windows in the one and one in the there, thick with dirt that the evening light glimmered dimly through them. Closed, broad bars of an iron bed, the wall unfastened. At the other was stout cord, was locked as well, and the key was not there. Corresponded clearly with the shuttered window outside, dimmer from beneath it, that the room was not in darkness. A skylight which let in light from above. Gazing at the sinister door and wondering what secret it might veil forward against the little slit of dim light which shone out from under the door, a mad, unreasoning terror rose up in me at the Mr. Holmes. My overstrung nerves failed me suddenly, as though some dreadful hand were behind me, clutching at the skirt of my dress. I rushed down the passage, through the door, arms of Mr. Brewcastle, who was waiting outside. So said he, smiling, "It was you then." "Oh, I am so frightened," I panted. "My dear young lady." His manner was and what has frightened you to coaxing. He overdid it. I was keenly on my guard against him. I was foolish enough to go into the empty wing. I said, "Out again." "Only that?" said he, looking at me keenly. "Well, what did you think?" I asked. "No business." "There. Oh, now. Well, then you know now. Rage." I was so terrified that I do not know what I did. I suppose that I must have rushed past him into my room. Nothing until I found myself lying on my bed, trembling all over. To be continued.